All right, then. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that we'll have to hope that Roll20 decides to stop chucking 350 million hissy fits.
Yes.
Fair.
They
If
still have the Shadow Realm with Mordecai.
yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Now Mordecai just needs some leather pants. Are you familiar with that song?
Yes.
Okay.
He'd wear anything fashionable.
Yeah. Well, at least you got your tattoos right now.
Yeah. About it.
Bakora, stop eating spaghetti with your mouth open. It'll get everywhere.
Why don't we begin then with Mordecai? Take us into your brain case. What is happening right now with you?
Well, we're in the desert. Whoa. Leading up to that, I was kind of hoping that the ritual would be able to provide me with some kind of way of being able to revert myself back to a living form. I think it got interrupted, ?
Something happened. I don't know if y'all talked about that.
Something's weird. We haven't really had a chance to talk yet. But that's the thing. Kind of sitting in the ritual and kind of with Sophonix asking me what it is that I want, I've begun to realize that the things that I want can't be granted by him. The things that I want, redemption and forgiveness for myself, has to come from myself initially, because I'm the one who put this on myself to begin with. And as far as other things go, kind of wanting the affections of people kind of requires their consent, so they have to give it to me. So I Hail Married and just told him I want to be alive and I want to be courageous.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting some sort of... I'm getting feedback from something.
Fluffy.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. That's what I asked for, and therefore I suppose that's where I was supposed to end up, but I think this ritual got interrupted and now we're in Aslandia.
You do apparently have a cool new tattoo.
Tattoo? I thought it was more like a bruise, but...
A colorful marking on your skin that's not original.
Yeah. Like I said, we haven't really had a chance to talk because we got interrupted or had to find cover, and the people that we found in the desert turned out to be Shadahar.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited about that part, but I am okay with the fact that we found people and we can get cover and maybe even, God's only know, get back to Mesomaska somehow.
Yeah, they didn't smite you on the spot, so that's a good start.
Yeah, I need to get back to Mesomaska.
Well, I'm 90% sure that when they saw us there naked, that they were like, oh, they're not gonna hurt us. Naked. Can't really do anything while you're naked. I mean, even magic casters aren't that strong while they're naked.
That depends. I don't know. Sorcerers might have some abilities and such. Well then.
Not when they have no equipment and material components. They don't.
Mordecai, is that your synopsis?
Essentially, because, yeah, I need to find some components in order to be able to cast sending. Because I need to figure out what's happened, how long it's been, and whether or not Bright and Norallie are okay.
Yeah.
We need to contact them and be like, hey, we're stuck in Aslandia.
That is 100% my first intention.
Do you want to find a way to Lacuna to see if our gear's there?
Yeah, no. That's the first thing I'm looking for, is making myself useful and finding some materials to be able to cast sending, because this is not acceptable.
Yes, this is a suboptimal situation.
Very suboptimal.
Selene, then, do you wanna have Mordecai pass the baton to you in this relay race?
Sure. That sounds fine to me.
Have at.
Now, honestly, I really hope that I don't see Symphonix again, because if I do, and I discover if he's had any part in any of this that's happened, I'm going to rip off his unmentionables and make him eat it.
You're very
he
dark.
did goof, apparently.
It's like he teleported me into the middle of the desert with no clothing and none of our gear. I am not happy. I just hope that we can make ourselves useful enough to these Shadahari agents that they might be able to get us back to Mesamaska.
Then I suppose tonight will be your time to try and shine and ingratiate yourself to them.
Oh joy. Oh, joyous joy of joys. I mean, to be fair, I'd very much just like my holy symbol and, some clothes, like that, but... that's
well, make sure you say please, or in the northeastern dialect of common, please.
Please, yeah.
Sounds so weird.
Yeah. they... I just, Seltur, you got any comments on this besides something snarky about my weight?
Take the baton.
Muffin Top is upset. Feel better now?
No. No, I'm just being nice and letting you speak.
Oh, you think I need your permission to speak? Oh, honey, you done stepped in it now. Well, let us take a look at the wonderful situation that we have here. We have found ourselves in the middle of a desert, and yet transportation, food, humble servants have all been provided. I end up taking a look, and I end up seeing that we have an entire myriad of entertainment end up going throughout the evening. And I end up seeing that we have all of these opportunities. We have an opportunity to ingratiate ourselves, as you so deliciously put it. And we also end up having an opportunity here to learn. We end up having opportunities to make some new friends, make some new allies, or indulge in certain pleasures that, I'll leave to your wonderful imaginations. But now, the only thing I hear is, boo-hoo, I'm dead. Boo-hoo, I ain't got no clothes. Boo-hoo, I ain't got no symbol. Praise we just. Reality is that we're doing just dandy in here, and every one of you is deciding to cry about it. I mean, look, it's a wonderful sunny day. We end up having wonderful bits of shade. We have transportation that flies, ladies. So, I don't see what all the hubbub's about.
You're predicating all of this on them actually keeping us around.
That's very
Yes.
presumptuous.
So sorry to tell you, Seltur, but the Shadahar Empire isn't that nice sometimes. In fact, a lot of the time.
Really? Let me ask you something. Do they have any reason to believe that you're anything other than a subservient near Shadahar? Yes, well, native who just happened to be caught out in the middle of the desert? Do they have any evidence to support that you are not local? Or do they have any evidence to say that you do not belong here? You may have a funny accent, but hey.
Well, I mean, I am an Aslandian native, but that's
You
besides the
are,
point.
but the evidence is not there. You don't wear the clothes for one. You have no identification. You have nothing going.
There is we literally have nothing.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, besides the
That's
besides the
point.
tattoos on my back.
Yes. So it would imply that you need to stay on your back to keep them hidden. Though I guess a woman of the cloth like you probably feels they're above such things.
I'm not even gracing that with a proper response, Seltur.
Because you don't have one. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to end up getting this moving on a bit because, I have places to be, and hearing you cry about the situation, not exactly indicative of a good time.
Hold on. Then I think that we're in the proper mindset here, and until Norallie arrives to team up with Bright, we'll go to our scene, which is going to be aboard an airship, as you all were.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all. I do not like heights.
And so, until we get video, I will stack your cameras or whatnot off to the side, and I will pull down your tokens, and we'll use the
Good improvisational skills, Matty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have a Selene, we have a Seltur, and we have a Mordecai. So the three of you have been, you haven't been manhandled. They certainly, surrounded you and have taken you up into the ship here, which is providing you shade, and you haven't been shot or anything. And you are asked to, well, yeah, I mean, they have plenty of weapons, arrows and crossbows and all sorts of things to, to fill you with holes if it's necessary. But right now, they picked you up. You've been asked to sit on deck. They haven't bound you, but you are being under guard. Now remember that this is a contingent of about 100 soldiers that you've seen, and a good majority of them are on the ground. And then there's these two airships, each with probably an equal complement of crew. Now, while they're presumably figuring out what the heck do we do with you, oh, there's a Norallie showing up, so I'll kind of put her off to the side here. There we go. You're getting a feeling for just.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
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 Hey. All right. Hail, hail! The gang's all here. You are getting a feeling for, maybe the apparent outlay of the ship, for some of the jobs that people are doing. You do notice that the vast majority of the crew are humans and tieflings. You have noticed a couple dwarves. And in fact, even peering over the edge, well, Mordecai, you may not want to. You're not tremendously high up, but you're definitely.
I am still not looking over the edge. Still not. Not a thing. I am in the
Seltur
middle of this
is
deck.
performing
boy.
Titanic.
Oh, you just want to go to the bow and just kind of let...
Oh yeah, her arms are out and she's just taking in as they're flying.
Praise the
And
sun.
just
Well, you
off
are...
in imagination land right now.
I'm in the middle of the deck.
As long as you're in an obvious part of the deck, they're giving you some relative freedom, and they have also given you water and some basic food like some bread and cheese.
But assuming no head clothing, given the fact that they like what they see.
They're not giving you clothing right now. No. That being said, they are also not. They're carrying themselves with like military professional dignity. So they're not leering at you, or they're not really snickering. Doesn't mean that you're not getting glances, but they're not making it obvious if they are.
I'll keep an eye out and see which ones are looking a little bit more than the others. Keep a note of the individuals if they become relevant and maybe they like what they see.
For Selene then and Seltur, Seltur's definitely stretching her legs and kind of basking in the sun. And you know what? You have an excellent scale color for that too. You're just absorbing the warmth as the sun is rising higher and higher. And so Mordecai, I mean, you're in the shade. You're not really covered up per se, so you are you have that kind of crackling glow going across you. And meanwhile, Seltur over here is almost giving off that sort of like invisible, like wavy, because the heat is just like forming on her scales, and it feels good, especially because the breeze is also helping to also dissipate the heat. But for you two, you are gauging what's going on around. It looks like down below the regiment is still has humans and tieflings. You are seeing some dwarves also in there. And there's a couple other figures that you can't really make out with specificity. The uniform. I mean, you think maybe they're dragonborn, but there's no real dragonborn that are known to. They live in Kandor, which is north. It's a northern province in Mesotopia. But I'll tell you what. One of you can give me a history, and one of you can give me a survival. And I'll let you choose between each other who gets to roll which.
I have a better history than I do survival.
I have a 4 in survival.
I have a +3 in both, so.
And I have a +3 in history. So if your history is better
Then
all right.
Between the three of you, give me one. I need one of those two skills, or I
there
need
you go.
both the skills. But whoa, nice, 22. Would have been a 24 if not for whatever. And a 20 survival. All right. So Seltur, with your these are two really good scores here. In looking down at the ranks, where there were probably dragonborn ? Instead, it looks like they're lizard folk, and for lizard folk, they're not really known to exist in Mesotopia, not just Mesomasca, but Mesotopia proper. In some ways, maybe how humans might look at orcs as being sort of barbaric cousins, perhaps. And now, Seltur, you are a strong individual dragonborn who don't need no DM to tell you what to think.
Honey, if I wanted to know your opinion, I would have told you what it was.
Lizard folk are not as advanced, right? They're not necessarily descended from dragons. They don't have the mystique, the power, the breadth. They do have tails. I don't know if that's a sore subject or not. And they do
Moving on.
But yeah, so you're seeing you're seeing this, and of course, Selene, to dovetail into this as you're kind of murmuring, these types of tribal folk live on the fringes. They'd really have to, because there's no strong presence. It's not that they're not known to exist, but they're isolated. They're more to the east and the north, and they would have had to have come a long way. And this is showing that there's maybe the Shadahar Empire has conscripted them, has picked them up along the way like you all. There's been some sort of a deal made with the history going back to that. The dwarves, there are dwarves that live in Mesotopia. In fact, you met some that live in Browbeat. However, as far as maybe dwarven territory is concerned, they are more up to the northeast. And while they're not one of the predominant races of humans or tieflings that comprise the Shadahar Empire, the dwarves are pretty well annexed. They are their own people, but they are also in service to the Empire through various agreements, and that's probably why you're seeing them here. I think that's the info dump that I can give you from the current set of circumstances. So Mordecai, you're sitting and smoldering. You two are looking and whatnot. And after a little while talking amongst yourselves, you've had this relative freedom, and so long as you're not doing anything that is, you're not going to bull rush someone, then they're leaving you alone. It's about noontime, and you are brought out another drink of water and another ration of bread and cheese. And with it comes an officer who is dressed in the Shadahar pattern and the colors, primarily red and black. And this was the one that you must have talked to that was on the ground. She doesn't have a helmet on. She's wearing sort of light armor would be a generous term. It is armor, but it's not heavy. She's not presenting herself as a knight or in some sort of heavy defenses. She does have a rapier on her side, though she doesn't seem to have a shield. And as she walks up to the deck, she is escorted by a couple of the deckhands, and one of them provides a chair for her to sit in on the deck, and then she makes a hand signal, and for the rest of you, 3 chairs are brought up, and you're told to make yourselves comfortable because there's going to be a bit of a chat.
I would rather sit on the deck. I don't want a chair. It'll fall off. I know it. I am not going to take that chance.
Yeah, no, Selene will sit on the chair, but crossing herself to keep herself modest.
Okay, that's fine.
There is no modesty with Seltur. In fact, she goes out of her way to move the chair a little bit closer to the individual.
Of course.
Still square and proper, but she has no shame in there what she's displaying. After all, not everybody can be perfect. Ain't that right, Muffin Top?
Selene just twitches and she's like, yeah, you could say that.
Well, what do we have here? It seems that we have picked up some stowaways in the desert.
Oh, honey, I would end up there constituting far more than that.
Now, we are not an immodest people. And in fact, I will provide you some cover, but you have to answer some questions first.
Oh. Well, I suppose I can end up spending some time. Is she pretty, by the way?
She is, I don't know what Seltur would consider pretty. She wears her hair short, very like a military cut. She certainly keeps herself toned and fit. She has very sharp eyes. She seems very observant and is looking around, even if she's talking to you, and she does convey herself with an air of leadership.
I like her. Well, I'm sure that'll end up making for an interesting conversation. So, why don't you ask yourself ask us a question or two, see what we can do.
First things first, I am Commander Willie.
Commander Willie?
Yes, Willie. As in the flower.
Lily.
Lily.
She means.
No,
because
she clearly said Willie.
It's like.
Please don't insult their native dialect.
The subtleties of our language, I don't expect you to perceive with exact precision.
Oh, I can attempt to do so, darling. So, I'm finding myself that body language tells more.
Yes, well, you may observe all you wish.
Oh, and you as well. I invite you to.
I am not as wooed as that. Now, I am Commander Willie, and welcome to our exploratory force. Judging from what you appear to be, you are from Cantor. Yes? And she points to you, Seltur.
That would seem to be correct.
And, you there, sir. You seem to be from, Mesomaska, correct?
Yes.
And you there, ma'am. And she kind of leans forward, and she's, as she's gauging you, Selene, her eyes aren't, they're not lingering on things. Like she's looking at you, but through you, with the eye of an examination, more than just like a savoring. And it's a little hard to tell, as you seem to have mixed blood. But I would say that you're from Aswandia. Am I correct?
A long time ago, I would have been here. Yes.
Ah, yes. Your extended years.
No, not that. Just, I left Selene when I was very young.
And now the question that I have is, what is someone from Cantor, someone from Mesomaska, and someone from, well, originally, Aswandia, doing in northeast Aswandia? As you can see, we are all from Shadahar.
Yes.
But why are you here? And also,
Would you believe
why
an
are
accident?
It was an accident. You lost all your things?
Pretty much.
Of the arcane kind. Arcane mishap. You know how it is with teleportation magic. Sometimes someone screws it up and all your stuff goes missing and you end up in a place that you really don't want to be.
That about sums it up, yeah.
You are magic practitioners.
We were getting transportation somewhere.
We were getting transportation, yes.
Ah, what a goof then.
Quite.
I shall think that if we find the wizard who cast the teleportation spell on us, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Ah, wizard what a tangled web we weave. Magic is something that is not unknown to us, but it can be dangerous, which is why we've done what we could to provide more fantastic but mundane transportation. And she sweeps her arm, as indicating this airship.
It is a fabulous piece of work, I dare say.
It really is, and it has helped us in tremendous ways.
I imagine.
It's definitely
Every day.
a genius.
Fantastic.
Every day we draw closer and closer to our goals of reuniting with Mesotopia and reopening trade routes and communication. And these devices will help do just that. Now, if you don't mind, I don't necessarily doubt that you have been fibbing to me, but I would like to do something to make sure that you aren't. Because honesty is the best policy. Yes?
Agreed.
Quite.
Only if you want to know the answer to the question you're asking.
I do, because I also have to answer to people that are above me. And I need to know what I'm going to be doing with you all. And we must be honest and efficient in all that we do.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
She gives a hand signal, and someone comes out dressed in a similar uniform, and begins to cast a spell. Now, this is going to produce an area that will make it impossible to lie.
You mean a zone of truth?
A zone of truth, yes. I would ask your full participation. I'm not here to try and embarrass you. I don't think there's much left to do so. I just want answers. I just want answers to figure out what we do. And so the person is making a little circle and is doing this as a ritual. She's making some small talk, asks if you need any more water or anything along those lines.
I'm fine. Just don't want to move. I'm okay right here.
Well, I will need you to stand in the circle when your time comes. But you can go last if you really want to.
Sure.
Oh no, I insist on being first. I'd love for you to end up joining me.
Now's
Honesty
really not the
is
time
indeed
for
the
that.
best policy, is it not?
Mordecai just shakes his head.
Mordecai, we'll make time. It's not like you're going anywhere or any plans today here you need to rush
No.
off to.
What are you even on about right now?
You are welcome to talk like this while the thing is being set up.
Not a problem. What am I on about?
Yeah.
Mordecai, you have a woman here of refinement and taste and strength. One who commands respect. I mean, she's everything you could ever hope for in a mate.
Not interested in that.
You're not interested in anything. I'm starting to think you've sworn off and went full-on celibate. Is the muffin top starting to get to you?
No.
Oh, are you two a thing? Is that what's going on here? We're about to find out.
No.
She just looks to the captain. I can have so much fun with them.
I'm surprised you weren't paying attention.
Yes, I suppose you don't think I am paying attention. Well, that's your prerogative to think so.
She might not have seen it, I did.
All right, you what? I believe the ritual is done. Now, you, Miss, what was your name again?
I didn't give it.
That's your prompt. Please step into the circle and give your name.
Oh. Well. And shielded.
Oh, I have to somehow get.
Go right to the back.
Woohoo. Whoop. Uh-oh. I moved the,
Oh no!
You can probably shove the picture to the back layer. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's what I'm gonna have to do.
There you go.
Hey, Lamau. Oh, now I still gotta get, I gotta get Seltur.
Yeah. If it helps, you can also turn the grid off.
Well, I want to put Seltur in the swirling circle, and...
Alright, select Seltur and say move to front. So
there
move
we
to
go.
front.
Hey, alright.
There you go.
Excellent. Fixing it on the fly here. We're using bubblegum and duct tape and some paper clips, folks.
Yeah, so were they for when they constructed this airship. Yeah, it still flies.
It does sound a little creaky in the background music, doesn't it?
My name, my dear, is Seltur Kornai Vertun. Flesh and meat.
Commander Willie, or Willie, which is Lily.
Willie.
Really?
Really? She nods, and she has someone who's taking notes. And one of them kind of leaned over and it puts his hand in front of his face, and she kind of nods. Please continue. Now I have to ask then, Seltur. She's trying to pronounce the L and the R respectfully. Seltur.
Very well done.
We are not barbarians. We can try to adapt to those that we have an interest in.
I'm glad we end up having an interest in the same subject matter. This pleases me greatly.
Why are you in the desert?
Because a little bit of arcane wizardry ended up dropping us off here. We had no intention of being in the desert. In fact, we weren't even having any expectations to be going anywhere in that regard. Not in that form, anyway. But here we are, and unfortunately, now we're all together in this mixed company.
And Seltur, as you're saying this, you stepped in, you provided your name, and you're answering this question, and your neck itches, and it feels like there's it's an itch / that it feels like there might be just something underneath one of your scales that's giving off kind of a tingle. Now tell me, Seltur, what would you ask us to do with you?
Oh, you're gonna love this answer. What I would like for you to end up doing with me is end up asking me how may I serve?
Ah, you wish to convert.
technically that could be taken in one of two ways. So she can answer yes, and it's still a truth.
Okay. You answer yes, and I mean the glowing is going on around you. You answer yes, and I don't know, you're not struck by lightning or anything. And the person kind of leans over. And whispers something to the commander, and she nods. Seltur, what color is the sky? Is it blue, or is it green?
I take a quick glance up. What is it?
It's a nice blue day, very clear.
I believe that is a royal blue.
Royal blue, a nice color.
I like to think that I wear it well.
Could you please tell me if that the sky is green? You know what color it is, but I want you to tell me that the sky is green.
Well, I suppose if a little bit of suffering is involved, the sky is green, and imagine this is gonna hurt like hell.
Okay, you brace. I don't know if you close your eyes or whatever. You kind of tense up.
Yeah.
Can
Can she say the sky is green? Can she say it?
Oh, say it again. I'm sorry.
Can she actually say the sky is green?
Yeah. Very interesting. Seltur,
Well, it's
do you practice magic?
no. But I would end up making it a point that I didn't make a false statement. I simply acquiesced to a request. It was not me lying. It was simply me going forward and telling you what you asked me to say.
The commander looks to the person who cast the ritual circle, and gives a nod and a very slight hand signal. And
Would I be able to get like an idea of like, is this a point of concern? Is this a case of him thinking it's not working properly?
Insight.
Is he saying anything?
Nothing.
Oh, he's saying something. It's just the whispered tones like you can't pick up.
I can read lips.
His
17.
mouth is being covered.
Oh, okay.
The commander's is difficult to read. She is maintaining an excellent poker face. She seems to want to... she's conducting some kind of an experiment through her methodology. She's not expressing concern, but she looks like she's trying a couple things here after asking several questions. And as you're examining her, the man who's standing next to her makes a couple gestures and closes his eyes and opens them back up after, approximately 6 seconds. Wink. And leans back down to the commander and is apparently whispering something. Interesting.
Commander, I thought honesty was the best policy here. It seems that this whole whispering secrets makes me feel like you're not being fully honest with me.
They won't be secrets for long, though I have to figure something out for the security of everyone aboard. In fact, Miss Seltur, she's like overly enunciating, Seltur, you may weave the circle.
Oh, and it was just getting so much fun. She steps out.
You there, ma'am. What is, please, step into the circle and state your name.
And Selene will step into the circle. You'll have to move her token to the front, though.
Whoops, yep. Whoop, ah.
There we go. So, she steps into the circle, and she'll look at the commander. She's like, "My name is Selene."
Do you have a last name?
Not that I remember.
Oh, very interesting. Selene, do you practice magic?
I do.
What kind of magic do you practice?
I am a lady of the cloth. I do not practice arcane magic.
I see. And now, as you're saying this, under your skin on your neck, you're getting kind of an itchy, slithery feeling. Well, it would seem that you are at a bit of a disadvantage. And I won't shame you much longer, but I need to understand what's happening. Something is off, and it's confusing me. And it makes me a little concerned. Tell me, Selene, as a woman who practices magic, I presume that you understand some of its effects and intricacies.
You could say that, yes.
Now, you and me aren't too much different. There are many similarities between you in Mesotopia and us in Shadahar. And so I'm a little confused. Can you please tell me what color the sky is?
The sky is whatever color you look up and see it as. Different eyes see different colors in different ways. What may seem blue to you might be green to me, and what might seem blue to me might be green to you.
She consults again, hand covering mouth to the person taking notes. Selene, answer me this. That man that's sitting over there, the blue one.
Yes.
Do you like him?
So Selene looks down at the circle for a moment. She's like, internally, she's like, "Oh no. Well, it was a nice charade while it lasted, I suppose." I have a.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Interest in him, yes.
I knew I could smell it from a mile away.
Eat a dick, Seltur. She
Such-
says that not
such
even
language aboard my ship.
I'm sorry. The Dragonborn just joined us, and she hasn't made a very good impression on me.
To be fair, I don't think anybody makes a good impression on it. I'm absolutely amused and absolutely giddy with excitement on the possibilities here.
I see. Selene? I'm sorry. Selene? She overly enunciates and pronounces the L. Selene? Would you please step out of the circle?
Selene will move back out of the circle.
And finally, Commander Willie looks over to you, Mordecai. Why, hello, sir. Would you please stand up and enter the circle?
He stands up slowly and moves slowly because he does not like the creaking or the movement of the ship.
Ah, I see. You must be a very brave man. Is this true?
I'm trying.
Aside from calling you brave man, what's your name?
Mordecai.
Ah, you say that name and he smiles. A proper name. One befitting a tiefling. It is difficult,
So I'm told.
sometimes, to pronounce these foreign names.
You
But
can pronounce it however you like.
I shall pronounce it Mordecai, as that it is only white and proper. Mordecai, do you practice magic?
I do. On
What
occasion.
kind of magic do you practice?
The arcane.
Oh, that's a little vague.
I
Please enunciate.
am fairly gifted in music and have found that I can occasionally channel arcane magic through it.
The commander speaks to the note taker and the one who cast the ritual and this other spell. Mordecai, would you please hold still a moment, as there's something that we must test. This won't hurt, and I am not here to torture you. I see that you're in a difficult position, and I want to help you. And
How so?
the man starts making some hand motions and closes his eyes. A little bit of time passes.
Do I understand what he's trying to cast?
Arcana at disadvantage. Seven. No, maybe it's the pronunciation, maybe it's different hand signals, or maybe you've just never seen a spell like this before. There's no, like, fiery, invocations. There's no dramatics, there's not an earthquake that's not that it would do an airship much damage, but there seems to be nothing dramatic that's happening. After the hand motions stop and whatever the this verbal component was, the person leans down again with the hand over the mouth, and Commander Lily nods. Mordecai, one last question. And Mordecai, your neck kind of like itches, and it has like this kind of like squirming feeling underneath it. Are you afraid that we're going to kill you?
I mean, wouldn't anyone in our situation?
Damn cat.
We're stranded in the desert. We're the first people we see. You know I'm from Mesomaska.
Okay.
It would seem that our people have quite the reputation here in the south. Despite that, I appreciate how you've handled yourself. You may leave the circle.
Alright.
The circle drops. The commander stands up. Curiouser and curiouser. You were here for an accident, yes?
Yes.
Even without the circle, Mordecai, I have to ask, why do you glow as you do? And she's looking at you with her piercing eyes, like a not sky blue. It's even a little bit lighter than that.
Uh-oh.
It's a condition.
It's no common cold.
It's a disease.
No, it's a magically afflicted disease, one that I, as a lady of the cloth, am looking to cure.
Is it contagious?
You cut out for me. What'd you say?
Is it contagious?
No.
No.
It can't spread.
No.
I see. She gives Seltur, I know you've been eyeing her. She gives just a vague kind of twinkle in her eye and a very slight upturned mouth as she says that, I see. I believe you, Mordecai. I believe you. And in fact, I believe also that you have sated my current curiosities. Allow me to offer you some hospitality aboard this ship until I can find out more about what we do with you. And she gives a signal, a hand signal, and for Seltur and Selene, you're brought out. They're not Shadahar uniforms, but they are clothes that are of the color and pattern of the Empire. And for Mordecai, I'm sorry, but it would seem that the only thing that we currently have available is this old uniform. And I wish to help you. I wish to help you avoid any harmful effects of your disease. Would you please put this on? And the person brings forward, and it's newly, it's new clothes. I mean, it's not tattered. The seams are all in repair, but the cut and the coloration and the pattern are that of the old uniforms that you've seen the vampires wear. And the clothes are put at your feet by the soldier, who steps back, salutes Commander Willie, and goes back to his post. And Lily is gazing at you, Mordecai. She's not gazing, I mean, inappropriately, but she is definitely holding you in her eyes.
I put it on.
You look smashing. Almost as if that was made for you. Wouldn't you agree, Mordecai?
It kind of, yeah, it kind of fits.
Out of character, oh no. Out of character, oh no, it's the conversion propaganda. You're gonna commit. Fucking cat.
This is...
Well, there goes our one F-bomb for the stream.
Whoops.
Of all the
My
moments you had
apologies,
to
that the cat is being an ass.
Cat butt.
This is the only spare you had.
It's the only one, I'm afraid. Is the tail hole too snug?
No,
It should
that's
be
fine.
adjustable. An improvement from the old pattern. Very well. Enjoy your quos, and enjoy the cruise, such as you'll currently experience it. I have some things to think about. If you need something, please talk to your guards.
Just a quick question for you. What direction are we headed?
Here and there. Back and forth. Waiting. Looking. Apparently for people like you. And she leaves the deck. You have the chairs. You could even recline it in a little bit if you want.
Nope, I'm staying firmly planted on the deck.
Buttons, fluffy sheep. Zippers. You're ruining my immersion. Come on, get out of here. We're on an airship. You want zippers? Come on.
That's great.
And so the three of you are. I mean, you're not left alone, but you're on the deck of the airship. You are moving. As the sun is climbed, well, it's really climbed because you've been on the ship for a while. The rigging and stuff above is providing some shade from the noonday sun. You're just kind of in a back and forth. You know, you're not really making constant advancement. You know, that you've been going in the same direction the whole time.
All right, well, that's interrogation number 1.
Aw, you call that an interrogation? That's cute.
Well,
It's
I
no
say that.
waterboarding.
However, Selene, I have to admit, it was awfully brave of you to end up coming up with those feelings of yours.
You think I had the ability to lie about it? That's adorable.
what?
I do.
Confused.
Because, well, they were taking notes, so was I. And the fact is that, well, our dear beloved Mordecai, I'm not sure if you happen to notice, but I think she takes a fancy to you.
All right.
Oh, look, we have it out. All Mordecai needs to do is become a concubine.
Selene, provide a. I don't know if there's a difference really, but you can give me a wisdom-based arcana or an intelligence-based insight.
It'll be a wisdom-based arcana. I'll just roll insight for it because I have proficiency in both.
Sure.
So to give it the right modifier. So 17.
Having gone through, I'll even give you advantage on this one, so it's a 26.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Having gone through this ritual before, you know, you called it out. This is a zone of truth. When you entered Bambardalus's, well, technically it was one of his sons. There was definitely a compulsion, a presence. There was a feeling. I mean, I don't think you said anything that. Well, no, actually, you weren't the one questioned, if I recall. But seeing this performed, and understanding the mechanics of it here. In fact, Zone of Truth is a cleric spell, correct?
It is a cleric spell.
Okay.
And
So
a bard
you-
spell.
So you and a bard spell, yes. Oh, and especially because Mordecai, you've been through this. So reflecting back on this, I mean, with Selene, and really we can rope you in on this too, Mordecai. Maybe especially Mordecai. You were in a magical glowing circle.
But it wasn't a zone of truth.
If it was, there was nothing was compelling you. There wasn't a zap, sort of like a mental cattle prod.
It was a dupe. So it was just an illusion. It wasn't an actual zone of truth. It was just a delusion to dupe us into telling the truth.
Why would they do that?
There could be several reasons why one might want to do something like that. I am not going to deign to know the motivations of the Shadahar.
It's interesting, though.
Well, I would end up suspecting that it's a little bit more than that. Anybody else get an itching under the scales, or was that just me?
No, I got
I
it.
did.
See, you're already liars.
Selene kind of feels her neck. She's like, I need to figure out what this is.
That would be about where we got bit. Would that be correct, Matty?
Yep.
Wait. When did we
We're
get
not-
bitten?
Before
exactly
we
in
got dragged out into the
privacy.
desert.
Yep.
No, I'm explaining that out of character, but
Yeah, no, because I don't remember that happening, that's all.
That happened.
well, if you two are gonna end up sitting here and sulking, I'm gonna end up going and get a tour. I mean, such a fabulous vessel. I want to end up being able to end up saying I understand the ins and outs of it. This is quite a fine contraption. And she just starts walking over to the guard that she's currently assigned to, I guess it is.
I must admit, I have a certain curiosity. I don't want to move. will
Mordecai on the
follow.
outside looking in.
Everybody
I will
loves a
follow.
man in uniform.
Yeah, Mordecai, you look really sharp. Now, then again, I mean, given the colors that you're flying, you know, I don't know if it's jarring to you from an artistic standpoint or a cultural one, or even the fact that
I've never been a big fan of just red and black. Gotta have more color.
Honey, I'd trade uniforms, but unfortunately I'd make it look better.
I mean, you're welcome to. I mean,
I think you would look absolutely beautiful in this commoner's getup.
I. Sure. I'll just. That be.
Well, you ladies have fun now. I'm going to end up going to,
Ladies?
Mordecai, you're a bottom bitch.
I take exception to that.
Well, then
don't
stop
know me.
playing the role and start manning up. She
You
starts
don't
walking
know
to the
me,
guard.
so-
Mordecai, I don't know if it helps anything, but as Seltur begins talking to the guards, and we're going to cut back over to you, Seltur. Apparently, the commander has given the guards instructions that if you want to do anything that's not in the open deck, you have to wear this restraint, and it's effectively like a muzzle for you.
Aw. Well, if
Can't
we're
have
into
it.
that kind of play.
Can't have you talking too much, I guess.
It's not the talking they're worried about.
So you see that Seltur has a muzzle restraint placed on her, but then she is escorted. She's taken around like going up. Oh, hey, here's here's the doohickeys and here's the thingamajigs and the whatsabobs. So
Yeah, and she's keeping uncomfortably close to that guard.
Seltur's muzzled. Selene and Mordecai. If you can talk, or we can have a bit of a fade to black, unless there's anything else that you want to bring up.
What do we do?
Selene's like, we need to figure out what this is, and we need to keep what we find out a secret.
Like, I am very confused.
Dragons. Don't like them.
Yeah.
But I mean, watching Seltur get half demeaned by having to put on that muzzle, honestly, 100% worth it.
I am.
It's called It's a where's that? I believe the term actually originated in Oct. They call it Schadenfreude.
That is a very gnome phrase.
It's a
I don't
gnomish
think I've
phrase.
heard that word.
It means laughing at the misfortune of another.
What?
Finding joy in the misfortune of someone else.
I don't actually.
You should talk to Bride about it once we find her.
Yeah, we need to get back.
That we do.
I feel awful about having left things the way that they are now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Phrasing.
Oh, I don't plan.
Is Seltur rubbing off on you?
Celine's a very earthy girl.
Yeah. I need to apologize. Desperately. I think.
Mordecai,
But,
are you proficient in Arcana at all, or is this a jack of all trades thing?
No, I'm proficient.
And what about investigation?
No, that's jack of all trade.
That one's jack of all trades?
Yep.
Sure. Tell you what. Why don't you give me an investigation at advantage?
It'd be better than mine, so...
20.
Yeah, take the 20
It's a
over the
20.
10. Yeah. All right. So there's going to be some time passing here. Seltur is doing Seltur stuff, still muzzled. And you two can talk. I mean, I don't know if anything is awkward after realizing Selene's confession, especially if this wasn't a zone of truth. But your brain,
Yeah.
now that you're not as glowy, and you're taking things in. It's not. I'm not going to assuage your fear of heights or being aboard the kind of occasionally shuddering ship. But in thinking about it, a couple things continue to pop back into the front of your mind, where you are aware of it, but all of you have this new mark. Now, you may not have been aware of Selene's tattoos before, but something that you all share is this mark. And Seltur said in passing that, didn't you all get an itch as well? And all three of you did itch during the process that you were undergoing. It had that same kind of itchy, like something just underneath your skin feel. And you were being asked, nothing, well, maybe Selene might take umbrage with it, but nothing extremely personal. You weren't asked, what's you've got to be in the military, give me your rank and your serial number, and, who do you work for, and, I'm going to break you. These were very casual questions. But she was she was really probing for something. And what she was probing for involved the three of you. And between the three of you, there's several inconsistencies. For example, you're a vampire. The others aren't. Selene is Fae, ? The others aren't. Seltur doesn't cast magic, at least not that you know of. And you know that you and Selene both do. And yet, at the same time, there was some kind of a consistency that was being prodded at or tested with whatever happened. It was an illusion. It was just the Shadahar manifestation of the spell that she said, so she was telling you the truth. It could have been a number of different spells. It was brought up in chat, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't cross your mind that there are spells to detect, the direction of someone's heart. It's good and evil kind of a thing. So it could have been something along those lines. I mean, obviously in your own ways, however you consider good or evil of a person, that's going to be up to you. But these couple things keep swirling. That it started out as something that was, regimental, seemed pretty standard operating procedure. The ritual was ready to go. She even had a transcriber, and she had apparently some sort of a magician who was casting these spells. But there was an interaction between the three. Doesn't mean it couldn't have been a play. And they were very careful to make sure that none of you could read their lips. They were very purposely, kind of leaning forward and whispering or covering their mouths. So these are going to be things for you to noggin over as some time is going to pass aboard the ship. Now, time is because the party is split. Time is moving a little bit differently, as things right now for you all are happening more in a real time. It's only been one day. But what I'd like to do is I'll let the three of you kind of stew on what's going on here. And we're going to cut over to Bright and Norallie, who are in more of a narrative time right now. Overland travel. They're actually dodging vampires. Vampires that are dressed a lot like you are, Mordecai. And they were going to make their way to Lake Right Eye. And this is where, unless there's anything else that the three of you want to get in here before I swap over to them.
I would just kind of point out to Selene I would want to talk about what went on in the ritual, but I want to make sure that we're kind of in private, more or less.
You're not sure. I mean, you could be magically listened to, or your voice carries on the wind. There's no guarantee of privacy, but you can try your best to, try and catch the breeze blowing across the deck so your words are carried off with it or something.
I would definitely keep it low to a whisper.
Okay.
Something about that ritual seem off to you about how it ended?
And Selene just nods and raises a finger to her lips like, shh.
As long as I'm not the only one.
All right. And then we'll come back in Seltur. Of course, if there's anything that you're particularly wanting to keep an eye open for, we can do all the little stuff when we cut back to you all.
Not a problem.
But before we take our sort of our halfway break here in a little bit, I wanted to pop over to Bright and Norallie. So in the map here of Mesomasca, Bright and Norallie had started here in Greenshield, and they were making their way through the forest over to Lake Right Eye, not to be confused with Right Eye Lake, which is over here. And for any of you out there who sound confused, there are reasons for this, and I swear they're completely legitimate and not just a lazy DM. And while you are ultimately making your way to Mask of Horns, which is the northern large city, and not Old Port, which is kind of, where the Pilgrims landed, and it's like the old world style. It's still a large city, but it is it's just a lot older than the more developed and more economically large. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, you're ultimately here, but we're making a halfway point stop. We're going to take you to Lake Red-Eye. And so, let's drag over some tokens. We have a Norallie, and we have a Bright. So you've traveled for several days on the road so far, and you find yourself at Lake Red-Eye. It is a small, maybe just medium-sized town. Lots of fishing. It's known for its wine. There's also lumber that comes down on the waters from Green Shield and in other trade routes. There's the Mordecai and the Alley rivers that flow from this eye in the mask. And in each river, one of the rivers can definitely take you to Mask of Horns, and the other one can take you to Old Port if you really wish to do so. So coming by here, it's bustling. It still has an it's an old world feel because you're way more in Tiefling territory. The western part of Mesomasca is more Tiefling, who are considered more the older, like the first the pilgrims to come over. So you're getting more of this style architecture, and you're also getting more of the fashion. Things here are very vibrant. It is a little bit more loosey-goosey. There is certainly a house, as you see on the map, that is it's a pillow house. We'll put it gently. You have a pillow house. You have all sorts of docks where there are wines and fish and food. There's people offering travel hither and thither, up and down the river, across the lake. There's just people jumping and playing and swimming. It's very lively. This is Bright, being the smarty pants that you are. This is almost like the opening to Disney's Beauty and the Beast here, where the whole village is sort of like singing a song, and you're the book nerd.
Bonjour.
Oh, you speak the local dialect, Norallie.
Of course I do. I know I do.
Norallie's gonna have to translate for me because I don't know Infernal, and probably there's a lot of people around here who speak either only Infernal, maybe some, or prefer to speak Infernal. Maybe it'll be like, there are some places where you go and if you make the effort to speak in their language, they just treat you better, and if you don't, they can still deal with you, but then they'll try to cheat you.
Yes,
you,
they'll
just do bad things.
Some weird fantasy realm called Quebec comes to mind, but I don't know if places like that actually exist.
Yeah, I think Quebec is just a myth.
Some days we wish.
All right, so Norallie, you're given some sage advice by Bright, and welcome to Lake Red-Eye. There is a tumbled wench here. There's other places as well. All sorts of things to see and do. You could probably just buy a house here and settle down, and that's that.
I don't think I can afford a house anytime soon.
I mean, we could probably rent one and make money on the side by doing spells and things, and then it would be like we'd be roommates.
That'd be nice, but we could also do that in Mask of Thorns. Maybe.
It's true.
I don't know how renting works or home ownership or anything like that.
Oh. So I actually don't either, because we don't really do things that way.
Yeah, apparently it's harder than it sounds.
Okay, so maybe we shouldn't do that then. I think we should keep going. I mean, I know we wanted to stop by here, and we've seen a lot of vampires, and we've had to run away from some vampires. So maybe we can look around and see if we can see any vampires, and maybe we can find out if they have a base or something while we're here. But also, I think we should maybe consider trying to catch a boat and sail down the river. It'll be less walking, which will be nice,
It'll be
and
faster too.
it'll probably also be a little bit safer because we'll just be with people that we know and we can see what they're like, and we don't have to meet so many strangers.
Yeah. We were gonna look for some magic stuff, so.
I think we're gonna have to go all the way to. We can look while we're here.
Yeah, we can look.
Okay. This is our first priority, is to go shopping and looking for magic items.
Well,
We need
not just
to
magic
find-
items, but
We need
also
communicate.
vampires.
Also vampire.
Also
We need
vampire.
to try to. We need to try to contact Mordecai and Selene and that Seltur person.
But I don't think we should go to the Pillow House. I mean, it sounds like a place that would be really nice, but they'll probably just offer us jobs.
Yeah, no, probably.
I don't think we should go there. So, I'm going to go ahead before we get into town, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my detect magic. I'll have to cast it as a ritual, so it'll take 10 minutes. But I just want to have it on as we, cross into, from the outskirts into the city proper.
Okay. You are detecting that there's a lot of rather low-level magical things that are around. Some people are wearing various. You're probably getting a lot of little illusion magic, especially as you make your way through the more charismatic part of town. If you get what I'm saying. Little trinkets here and there, a ring, a necklace. You are getting from some of the larger establishments as well that there are spells cast on them, presumably to make them light up. It's indoors; you're not just relying on windows. So for being a small town, and maybe this actually tells to the wealth of this location. There is a lot of just little magical effects here and there. And you're even seeing a couple people that are fishing on one of the piers that go out into the lake, and one of them seems to is waiting and then cast their hands forward, and the water kind of fills with some electricity, and a couple fish kind of blop up to the top, or he just takes a net and scoops them out.
Oh, I've done that before.
Is it fun?
You were there. There's a fish, and you just sap them.
Oh,
And then they get a nice
yeah.
taste to them after you cook them. They get the
And that-
little kick.
A little
Yeah,
spice.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That was
good.
interesting.
And also too, Bright, you know that exposure to Norallie especially, but tieflings do seem to have an inherent magic to them. Maybe not unlike some gnomes or gnomish abilities. So there's that culturally as well.
Okay, so I think I just wanted to see if there was a divination field at the city gates or anything like that. But since it's just people minding their own business and using magic for utilities, I'm certainly okay with that. I do that all the time, so I don't worry too much about that. So I think we should go. I don't think we should split up. I think we should stay together because this is a big city and it's pretty foreign for me, and I don't want to be all alone here. So let's.
Yeah,
I
don't know the city either.
We're stronger together. So I think we should just either go to the magic shop or see if we can find a boat. Whichever. I'm not picky which one we do first. Which one are we closer to?
Well,
if we find a boat,
finding a
we
boat
can-
is just about everywhere. But if we're looking between a magic store and what was the other option?
A boat.
Oh, that was the boat. I'm sorry. I thought there was. Look, I almost had the tumbled wench in
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Boats and transportation. You can find signage for all kinds of transportation services and ferries and the like. So that's, whatever you want. You could shop for price point, you could shop for comfort, you could shop for speed, you might even be able to find work. In fact, Norallie, if you're translating here for Bright, there's a lot of signs that are saying, we need deck hands, help wanted. A lot of it is more laborious stuff, hauling cargo, minding the ship. But if you want transportation and you're willing to help, there's that. Now, you're also seeing, and Bright, you can pick this up pretty easily, you are seeing a lot of fire safety signs that are around town. And once you see the symbol and kind of get the pattern of infernal, it's not making you literate in the language, but you can see that fire is a concern, and that's probably adding to a lot of the magical wards for the buildings. They're trying to be as fire resistant as possible.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Well,
Not one I've really put a lot of thought into.
Well, tieflings, we're not really, but we're a little fireproof, so it doesn't bother us that much. But then there's things that just get set on fire, and it only happened once, okay?
Oh, I understand. I mean, I burned down that house,
Yeah, you did.
so
we're making
I understand where
connections.
you're coming.
I've never burned anything on purpose.
Oh, I burned lots of things on purpose and only sometimes on accident. But I'm older than you, so I've had like 5 times as much time to set things on fire.
Yeah.
So now that we've established that we're both... What's the infernal word for incendiary? Okay, so let's head on over to the magic shop, and then we can maybe come back and find a boat. Because what if we find a place and then they're gonna leave right away? We'd just be wasting our time.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's find a magic shop somewhere.
There are a couple varieties that you're finding. You're getting more of the potion makers. You're getting more of things like scrolls and wands. You're getting a place that touts that they have very expensive big city magical wares, and it does look very expensive. There are a lot of different types of shops that are offering, alchemic services and poisons and foods and ritual components and candles and all everything you need. So, are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I mean,
Scrolls, right?
looking for scrolls, because there's a couple of spells that I would really like to learn, and I just haven't. I mean, I didn't really study them in school, and I haven't had a chance to learn them. Scrolls would be nice if we can find any, and I do have things to trade. I mean, I can trade this little pin that I have. It's magic.
Okay.
We do have a little bit of party money, but we also have to pay for boat, maybe.
I have to pay for the boat, so I don't want to spend all of our money on magic.
Yeah.
Is Peggy Sue out, or is she retired right now?
No, she's in her place, 'cause she kind of stands out, and I haven't had a chance to turn her back into a cricket, so, and I don't know that I'd want to, because she kind of likes being a little alicorn, and it's really, really fun. So, so she spends more time in her place when we're in cities right now, but I can call her up if she's necessary.
Okay.
I have Yori, but he's not good at finding.
That
He
reminds
just
me,
flies around and eat rats.
does Herbert like me any better?
No.
No.
I was
Don't
hoping.
worry, he'll get used to you eventually.
I was
He's
hoping
just
after
fast.
the tree that he would start to like me better. Okay. Well, let's keep going then.
Yep. All right. So there is a place that specializes in scrolls. They are written in several languages, and you should be happy to know that Gnomish is accommodated here because gnomes are very magical, and they have contributed a lot to or not even Mesomascan, but Mesotopian magic as a whole. So you are finding that the shopkeeper greets you in pretty decent Gnomish, and produces scrolls that are written in your language as well.
Well, that's That's so nice of him.
I recognize 2 of those fruit.
Is he a tiefling or a human or what?
Tiefling.
Okay. So, hello, thank you for greeting me in Gnomish. I wish I could greet you in Infernal, but I don't know Infernal. But maybe if we both know Elvish, we can split the difference.
And he retorts in Elvish that we can certainly speak that language as well.
Okay, well, let's do this in Elvish then. That'll be fair.
Yes, very well. I'm working on my Aslandian accent. It's difficult. You know, Aslandia is just such a remote place, and all that desert. Oh.
It doesn't sound very fun. I don't know anyone who's ever been to Aslandia, so,
That sounds like a terrible place to be.
yeah,
It's sand and sun.
It is, honestly.
No
the
nice
threat of
mountain breeze.
constant invasion, just endless tracks of dune and desert. And I'll tell you, and he kind of leans across. I appreciate all the elven customers that come in here, but some of those high elves from Aslandia are.
yeah, they should call them high horse elves.
Thank you. I didn't say it, you did, for the record, but I'm not going to stop you from saying that.
It's okay. I've done a lot of business with elves too.
Well,
they were
and
kind of.
there's the thing too, you know,
Clientele.
with the rock gnomes, and I don't know if that's a culturally sensitive thing.
Okay, so, I'm kind of looking for some scrolls, and I know I just kind of want to get an idea of the ballpark of the prices because we don't have enough money, and I just want to see if there's anything we can afford. I'm looking for maybe some first or second level spells, so nothing too major.
Ah, beginner. Yes. Well, I suppose the prices are negotiable, and that depends on, well, a great number of factors. You know, if you want a lower level or a slightly more complicated spell. It could even depend on, honestly, how you treat me, and the language that you use with me.
Oh.
Well, I only know Infernal and so I can do either of this.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm usually pretty friendly, so I think we'll probably get along. Anyway, I mean, there's a couple of spells that I'd really like to learn. One of them is called. You know that one.
It cut out. Which spell?
One of them is called Sending. I'm sure you know that one. It's pretty popular.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, it's popular unless you give your name to someone and you're tired of receiving messages from them.
Yeah, I mean, spam sendings are definitely a problem, but there's a do not send list now, so I think that'll probably be okay.
Oh, is that moving forward? Oh, we've been lobbying for that.
Maybe Tibba was on the do not send list.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why we couldn't get to him.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it was worse. I think it was worse for him. But I know that Mordecai and Selene would like to hear from us if we could. So anyway, I know sending is a little higher level. I know that's level 3, so it might be more expensive. But I just want to see if you have it, and if so, how much it costs.
Oh, yes. Let's
and out of character, did we ever figure out how much money we have? Because there was the whole thing with the party funds versus what people had, and I don't know.
Mordecai did not leave the gold on the donkey in the stable, so you have what you have.
It's
So
gone, probably.
What about the crowns? Do we have the crowns?
I thought we had some of it, just not like all his party or all his performance. But we still had a little bit of the party gold.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Maddie's call.
Well, yeah, you have the gold that you two got for covering for Mordecai, because that's you earned that.
Yeah, right.
But the gold that Mordecai had from performing wouldn't have been, like, it would have been on Mordecai.
Okay.
But
And then
but there was 98 gold pieces that was party gold and not his gold.
Correct, and that was so he was accounting for it, but it wouldn't have been left on Brayson in the stable, so it would have been taken along, and and so the party gold presumably still exists, but it is not in your pockets.
Okay, all right.
So I guess we have even less money than I thought we had. Okay, well, I just want to see how much it would cost to have it.
Well, let's
try.
see. I don't know. Some of these spells can be pretty expensive. Upwards of 500 gold pieces, you know.
So I don't think I have that many gold pieces. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we don't. But I have a couple of things I can trade. I have this brooch of shielding. I also have a superior healing potion. So I don't know how much you would give me for that. And also I have some pieces of chalk.
Magic item, greater, and then like broken chalk on the counter.
I'm just kind of going through my pockets.
So he starts gauging the brooch of shielding and the potion. He looks at the chalk and he smiles and tells you might need that for your own ritual circles. He has plenty of chalk.
Okay, thank you.
So let's see. The brooch of shielding is an uncommon item, and the potion. Scroll too far ahead here. LOPQ. Potion of longevity. Nope, that's not right. Potions of healing. It was a greater healing, you said, right?
Superior healing.
Superior healing? Oh, okay. So that is a rare item. He'll take these. He'll tell you you can browse the selection. There are images of the things that I have that you can interact with. Obviously, there's a lot of sticky fingers in town, given the transient nature of a lot of people. So you can enjoy the shelves that are decorated with images of the things that you can buy. You can interact with them. They do have touch and feel. The only thing I'm working on is smell. So you will not be able to get that whiff of old parchment.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, sometimes the gnomish scrolls are made with scratch and sniff, but I know like elves and humans don't usually do that on their magic scrolls. It's really just a gnome touch. So,
it is
okay,
quaint.
so.
Yes.
Well, I want to look around, and the two spells that I'm looking for the most are Sending and Nistel's Magic Aura. One's level 2.
Well, I will do the best that I can, and I'll give you as fair a price as I can as well. I haven't been around for as long as I have, because I've been known to rip people off. There's so many counterfeit magical items going around. It's really depressing, and it gives a bad reputation for those of us who've, we've toiled our whole lives, and we don't live as long as you. And to have all that besmirched by a couple bad transactions. Ugh.
It's very sad. Well, we can definitely test out the Brooch of Shielding. I mean, it protects you from magic missile. So I'm sure you know that spell, and you would be welcome to shoot me with a magic missile if you just want to see if it works.
Oh, I won't shoot you with it. I'll test it. Don't worry. So he is going. He's leaving an assistant out front. You could speak to the assistant, who is a young human boy, maybe about Norallie's age even. And he says, if you need anything, let me know. And the elder shopkeep tiefling goes to the back and apparently begins evaluating the potency of the potion and confirming things and identifying things and all that, such as wizards do. You are left in the shop, and you can stay and browse until he's done. You can go out and do other things. What would you like to?
I don't think I want to just leave this stuff with him. I think I want to stay here at least until he's done checking it. And we have plenty of stuff to look at. I mean, those are the things I was looking for. And I mean, anything else I see that might be interesting.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's reams of different types of parchment. Some are scented, some aren't. Lots of magical inks in different colors. There's blank books. There's all the things that that a person who makes scrolls or would like to buy a new spell book or to transcribe that are here. There's even
Gonna need magic ink too. That's a bummer too.
Oh yeah, you'll need magic ink.
For
Yeah.
for learning scrolls, I need magic ink.
Norallie, would you like to stick close to Bright?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take it.
He comes over. He's kind of like sweeping. Norallie, he's not very good about hiding the fact that he has taken a notice, an interest in you, and so he kind of sweeps his way over to you. And it's like, oh wow, how about those dust bunnies?
I prefer normal bunnies. They're cuter.
Oh yeah, I'm working on pulling them out of a hat live.
Ew.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'm getting better at it.
I just usually pull a snake out of my sleeve, and I just like gently pop out Yori from my sleeve.
Whoa, a flying snake? How did
Yeah,
that happen?
You know, I don't know. He didn't used to fly, but now he does.
Oh, I bet. So you're studying that one school of wizardry. Oh, what's the one? Transmutation is what it's called, right? I bet you're turning a lot of things into other things. Where's your school? I might have heard of it.
Oh well, I actually was taught by well, you wouldn't know him, but his name's Mr. Halver, and he he taught me some magic. Although I do some magic that he can't really do, but he also does magic that I just can't get. But it's fine.
Oh, if you study enough books, magic will it'll come to you. I'm learning every day.
Yeah, that's kind of how I learn. But then also I can just sometimes I think about it and it's like, oh, I think this will be cool and I'm gonna try this, and it works sometimes.
Oh,
And
are
then,
those the colors of your magic school? This kind of like white and blue?
No, that's just colors I think are pretty.
Oh. I hear they serve really good stuff in the cafeterias. Is that true? Like, it could be flavored like anything.
Oh, I didn't really go to a school. It was just the one teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Bright, some of this might be reminding you of your time in magic school as well. But I
don't think I was ever quite like this guy.
Well, maybe not like this guy, but definitely like he's trying to ask questions because he seems to have, he has them in aspirations, and Norallie is not a traditional wizard because she's also not a wizard, so he's floundering.
I'm the conversation because neither of them can talk to anyone, but they're both trying. So
yeah,
I think it's actually a lot of fun.
He's looking down, kind of like sweeping, and looks to the side and asks a question, but he's so
they might be talking in Infernal. I don't know.
He's working on it. Norallie, he's gonna try some words, but I think he says something that he just sort of puts his foot in his mouth, and is rather embarrassing as he turns really red and really destroys a dust bunny that's just like right there on the floor, and he says, "Well, what I meant to say was," and so it goes back to this as he's asking you questions. And so this interaction will go on for a while. I mean, he's gonna take an interest in Herbert. He's gonna take an interest in Yori. And just he wants to know more about magic, and certainly he's being brought up in a wizardly fashion.
Is his job to clean up the dust bunnies?
Well, he is an assistant, so that presumably this is.
So I'm gonna go around behind him.
Okay.
Patient. Where I can instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot, and I will make more dust bunnies behind him as he goes around.
Sure.
That's so mean.
So yeah, in the middle of this exchange here between this young human and our young tiefling Norallie, he's just like, oh, and I'm saving up money here, and my master's gonna send me to the school that he. Oh, where did all this? Well, so I was, and he's like torn between you and his duties. He keeps like sweeping. He's like kind of crushing them. Where did they come from? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss. What's your name?
I have more, so I'm gonna.
You can call me Norallie.
Image, to conceal the dust bunnies,
Okay.
and they keep making dust bunnies with prestidigitation.
Oh, so you're gonna load the area by suppressing their presence, but then you're gonna fill it up with dust bunnies?
Yes.
Okay. So suppressing. Apparently, we're gonna have 10 minutes of dust bunny build up here. Then. So yeah, major image is cast while he's distracted talking to Norallie. Norallie brights up. I mean, she's doing something. But you also have this kid who's asking a bunch of questions. I don't know if he's making you feel awkward in return because he's like, "Hey, yeah, I want to go to school and I have hopes and dreams." And you kind of grew up on the streets and have had your dreams crushed and don't have formal education.
Yeah.
Yep, about that.
It's okay. I'm alright.
So a while passes before the major image is up. So I don't mean like hours. And the shopkeep comes back and he says, "Oh, yes, well, certainly you're turning in the real deal, and I am thankful for that. You'll have to understand, a level of scrutiny is important for all wizards. I'm sure that you learn this in your own teachings. Miss...
Of course.
Yes.
My name's Triddle, but you can call me Bright. Most of my friends do.
Oh, beautiful name, Bright. Then I owed you a quote. So we have two very interesting items. I did verify. I hope it didn't make too much of a commotion. I tried to keep it very discreet, but I was able to test your brooch, and well, you'll notice that you have the same quantity of potion in your bottle. I was able to examine it through other magical means. Again, what kind of a wizard would I be if I was just to rummage through a person's potions? Now, potions aren't necessarily my things, and magical items, I mean, they're always useful, as are the magical items like this, and I'm sure I could do a lot. Let's see. For the potion... Let's see, so we have an uncommon item and a rare item. So 1 second, going to the... all right. I would like you to roll a percentile on the brooch. Bright.
So just a D100?
Yep. Oh, yes. You know, it seems that I have, I didn't know that I had a need for this, but after seeing it in the works, I have a buyer in mind. And being an honest, reputable man that I am, I can give you a healthy sum for it, because I can turn it around, and there's a bit of a personal investment in just such an object. You know, in a rowdy lakeside town like this, you can never be too careful. And so
I mean, sometimes you're up against like someone who's just a beginner and they know magic missile, and that's like the only spell they know. I know a lot of people who just learn one spell, and that's all they have the time or patience or skill to learn. And then if they don't like you, then a brooch like this is just the trick.
Indeed. And so I can give you an amount to be determined by a D4 roll, please.
Oh.
Can I good luck for that?
If you have if your roll can affect, well, I guess this would be like the.
Do you have the text on good luck? I don't know.
Yeah, starting 6th level, you have the ability to complete using one magic. Attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. You can action.
You know what?
Roll a d4.
Given that this is a luck-based, how much can I get for this? I will allow for it because you can manipulate luck, and this is kind of a luck of the draw. So it mechanically doesn't fit those 3, but I'm willing to make that exception.
Okay.
Roll one more.
Okay, good. That's better.
Okay, and this does not cause a wild magic effect to go off, correct?
No.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's you buy that with sorcery points. Never mind.
Yes, powered by sorcery points.
All right. So he says, I could give you 2.
I just kind of give him puppy dog eyes from the back.
He glances up in the middle of the one-syllable word of 2 and looks over at Norallie, and you're kind of your ooh-goo eyes, just like oh whoa, oh whoa. Yeah, I don't know why I was going to say 2. I meant to say 4. I can give you 400 gold pieces for this brooch.
Oh, that's really good. That's a really good amount. I will definitely take that.
Well, yes.
But you don't necessarily need to have 400 gold on hand, because I'm probably going to spend quite a few of them.
Yes, store credit is fine, and otherwise I won't have the gold, but I could give you an equivalent in gems. It's a good way to carry large sums without burdening your pockets.
Of course.
Now, for the potion, potions are always in need, but I'm still going to need you to roll a percentile dice, Bright.
Oh, okay. 40.
Well, I could probably kind of combo this in. Oh, this was a rare. This could mean a lot to someone who really needs it. I can offer you... roll a d2, please. I can offer you... And he looks up at Norallie. Are you giving him Ugu eyes?
Yeah, look, she made a little... I think is it a Kirby? What is that? I don't know. It's cute, though.
It's good, please. Yes, please.
Well, given the nature of such a potent potion, and I know that this can act as a base to accomplish some other things, I can offer you a fair sum on this. Are you willing to take 1,000 gold pieces or equivalent?
Can I roll insight to see if I think that's a fair?
Sure. And a 4 it is.
Oh, poor Bright.
Here, 1,000 sounds great.
Very good. Well, you have quite the sum of store credit, and if you wish to cash out, I do carry all sorts of gems, as I'm sure you know those can be used, even outside of monetary exchanges.
And I might actually, depending on how much we have left when we're done shopping for scrolls and things, I might actually want some gems that I can use for components later, because I have some spells in mind that need those.
Yes, of course. In fact, not only that, depending on how long you wish to stay in town, I could use a little transcription service, especially from a native gnome speaker. If you're looking for a job, I might be able to give you some extra credit. But I guess that might depend. What school have you versed yourself in, Miss Bright?
So it's kind of an interesting situation, because when I studied at the Great Library in Ucht, I'm sure that's not a surprise.
No, not at all, but it's fantastic to hear about.
And I mostly studied divination when I was there. It turns out I was kind of, what's the expression? Chasing a wild duck? I was chasing a wild duck.
I can't say I've heard of that, but I can understand given that
I
you're...
thought it was a chicken.
Oh, you have the chicken. We don't chase him very much.
No, she doesn't run that much. She likes to be carried.
Let me get this straight. Look, I've heard this before. Parents pay your way into magic school, and they say, "Oh, I want my daughter to be a transmuter just like us." And you go to transmutation school, and well, one thing leads to another, and you come out with a magical degree, but you don't really like it, and so there's that.
I paid my own way through wizard school, but I don't really come from a family of wizards. Actually, I come from a family of calligraphers, so transcription is kind of right up my alley. But so I mean, I have really. Let me show you. I have this letter of introduction that tells you that I'm actually a registered member of the Gnomish Guild of Scribes. So I mean, here are my credentials as far as my ability to do transcription. I just don't know how long we're going to be here in town. Probably not more than a day or two because I'm kind of in a hurry. But I'll do as much for you as I can while I'm here. Well, I mean, I can't make the decision without you.
He rolls it and hands it back. I don't know if a day is going to be long enough to undertake the project that I have, but you know, it's nice meeting someone like you.
Or right now, I have to be conscientious of my companion and make sure that I don't do things without.
Well, let's see how long it'll be, because
we might be here for a few days. We don't know.
Yeah, we still need to get these things, and then we can, if we earn enough, we can go down the river, and then it'll be kind of like the same amount of time if we just walk. So we'll still get there soon, right?
That's true.
Well, if you do decide to stay and work, I will make sure to pay you for your expertise in calligraphy and your knowledge of magic, and of course being able to speak the more uncommon Gnomish language. Depending, in full honesty, depending on your skills or proclivities, the only other place that could probably pay you almost as well as I could be would be the Mysterious Lamb, and you've probably walked past that place on your entrance here to Lake Right Eye.
Yeah, we passed that. Work there. I would much rather work for you.
Well, I'll need some time to think about things to arrange. There's some spell scrolls that maybe I can. Well, if there's a job I can think of for at least a day, I might be able to negotiate a price. And of course, I'm gonna have to come up. I don't keep a bunch of gems just in the store. You can understand that at any point in time.
Of course, it wouldn't be safe.
But if you can come back at least tomorrow, I can have payment and perhaps a job for you.
Oh, I wish I had a better insight. I guess I have to take that deal because of my 4. I hope he doesn't cheat us.
Hey, as you're looking, and you're
I just find you inexplicably trustworthy, yeah. So absolutely.
I rolled a narrator.
Oh yes. Well, then I can recommend. I know the owner of the Tumbled Wench in town. So if you wish to avoid the proclivities of the Mysterious Lamb, not that people don't rent rooms there for various purposes. I can't guarantee your neighbors, but I am in good with the proprietor of this Tumbled Wench here in town, and as a show of good faith. If you go and give them this letter, then you'll be put up for a night, and it'll have my name signed to it, and it'll say that you're here on business, and that if things are happening, it's my credit.
And we'll definitely come back tomorrow. And so the 2 spells that I'm looking for the most, but I'm also going to need a little bit of magic ink so that I can transcribe them. But also. We'll definitely come back tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you. And enjoy your time here. There's plenty of entertainment. There's plenty to see and to do. There's dancing. There's drinking. There's various vices of the city, of even the big city you can find here. And there's also quiet places that you can just sort of tuck yourself into and and enjoy a nice evening by the lake under the stars.
I think quiet places sounds nice. What do you think, Norallie?
Yeah, that sounds alright.
Well, there is a little library in town you can stick around to until sunset, and there's a few parks. Oh, there's a beautiful park that as he's describing it, kind of gives you a little flashback to the park in Green Shield.
I kind of like the park idea.
I would like to go there and see if it has. I mean, it might have another teleportation circle in it. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I did.
What I would like to do is to take about a 10-minute break to use the restroom and to refill my pitcher with some drink and get a little snack. So if you all are good for it, I have 1:25 a.m. We can come back at 1:35 a.m. and begin again. We'll start with you two having your interaction here in Lake Right Eye, and then after resolving a couple things, we'll shoot back over to the sands of Aslandia and find out what Mordecai, Seltur, and Selene are up to.
That sounds perfect. And out of character, maybe we can take another shot on the video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll try resetting stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep mine off because I didn't put my wig on.
Oh.
Gasp!
I put my wig on.
You are in character.
I need my wig to get into character, whether I'm on video or not.